Hello, my lovely magnetic leaders. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the From 9 to 5 to Entrepreneur vlog. I'm your host, Kara, and I left my 9 to 5 job back in October 2021 to pursue entrepreneurship full time. And today I wanted to talk about how sometimes I miss the 9 to 5, and this is exactly why. So, I've been thinking about this for, since I left my 9 to 5, and I realized that one of the best things about my 9 to 5, other than, the compensation, the health benefits, the wellness benefits, that kind of thing, was actually the community that I had there. I made some of my best friends from working at the company that I worked at, and I learned a lot. And I just love being around my friends at work. Okay, and it's been a long time since like that really happened. Friends that you could actually be vulnerable with. You can actually tell them how you're actually feeling about work and about whatever is going on in your life, and you could just talk about work stuff and non-work stuff, which is really cool. um, and I had been thinking about lately, and this also comes up for like my clients too sometimes. But the reason why I miss the 9 to 5 is actually because the 9 to 5 gave me space. It gave me some peace too, because having a 9 to 5 meant that I would physically go somewhere, right? Not in the case of my last 9 to 5. Like in my last 9 to 5, I had the choice to go work wherever I wanted to work because I got to work remotely. But when it came to like my other 9 to 5s, I worked in an office, and at the time I was living with my family, and it was easier to get along with my family when I had a lot more space between them. And I'm learning a lot about boundaries and like space in relationships, right? And how humans do need space, but they also need community. And I missed my 9 to 5 for the community initially after I left, but then now I'm like, I miss it for the space. And so I'm not in my house right now. I made the conscious choice many times this year to actually work outside of my family's home now, because I realized that no matter how hard I try, it's actually very tough to work in the same environment as you sleep, as you eat, as you do everything else, and as you're around family. And I know some people can really do that, and I admire that, and I love that. For me, I'm not able to, and that's okay, right? And this is just the life that I choose. This is what I want. So there are times where I'm like, I miss the 9 to 5, so I could just go out somewhere and, you know, be somewhere for 8 hours a day, then come home, and then I'm recharged and re-energized, and I'm ready to like hang out with my family or my partner or whoever, right? Or my friends, that kind of thing. And so I thought long and hard about this, and I was like, maybe I should just go back to 9 to 5, right? If I really want that space. But then when I realized what it was like, it was the space that I wanted, not the 9 to 5, right? So I was like, I asked myself, like, how can I create that space for myself? And, the number one thing that was like hindering me for a while was actually finances, because I really wanted to just go downtown and hang out in this like coffee shop here. It's called Mob Squad. It's like amazing. It's in Calgary. Um, but I would need to get transportation down here, and that costs money, right? And then of course, like, I don't want to be a freeloader, so and I want to like purchase something from the business, right? And support them, because they're also giving me free internet at the same time, and also a warm place to work in, and that kind of thing, right? So um, I realized that it was the space that I really wanted, and I was like, okay, if we threw out other factors, like if we threw out the finances, would I still be able to get the space that I needed, right? To, go out there and like go work on whatever it is that I'm working on, like my business, or my side hustles or whatever it's like that, right? And I recently just took on a new side hustle. I'm actually processing it right now, and then I'm gonna take a look at the contracts and like sign them later today. But I'm super excited for it. And I realized that it wasn't just about the finances. It was actually just like, just giving myself permission to take space in the form that I can right now with the resources that I have right now, right? So what I would do is, if I couldn't go to this coffee shop, there's two food courts near my house, um, and I can work in those areas. So that works out. And then, another option is I can always ask a friend to come and pick me up, or I can go and get a ride to their place or take transportation to their place and work at their place with them, right? Or, I can just work in my room. But my goal, actually, let's backtrack a little bit. So when I started working I was like, okay, I'll work in the food courts. At first, it didn't feel good. But I realized it didn't feel good because one of the food courts didn't have fast Wi-Fi, so it made it really hard to do my work because I need to be communicating with people. Um, but then I moved to the other food court and they have faster Wi-Fi, so it actually was very helpful. And I'm like surrounded by the ambient noise. And when I need a break, I can go and take a break and go check out the Japanese dollar store. Like it's not, it's like it's called the dollar store, but not everything there is a dollar. It's like $3 or more. But I can like check out the Japanese dollar store or walk around or check out the food or go get food or whatever. So it was really nice. And I try to do as many things as I could and make it feel more like home and like an office and like a good space to work in. So sometimes I bring my crystals with me, sometimes I bring snacks, sometimes I bring water, right? Sometimes I'll purchase something. Um, and when you hop into the entrepreneur life and you don't always have the finances available, like you got to be a little bit frugal, right? Um, and that's something that I needed to also come home to terms with, because I was like, oh my god, if I'm being frugal, does that mean like I'll be frugal forever kind of thing? But I realized that no, it just means that I'm just working with what I have right now, and that's okay. Like, one of the mentors that I follow, Dan Locke, I remember he used to work in like hotel lobbies, I think, before he became, the multi-millionaire, billionaire that he is. Um, he would sit in like these hotels and just like so surround himself with that environment. And then when he had the money to buy a coffee, then he would buy a coffee, right? So I'm learning that, because the way that I was doing it before was like as soon as I got the money, like I would splurge like on massages and like the fancy Italian dinners, that kind of thing. But I realized that I don't need to do that to celebrate my wins anymore. Like I can do something very small, and that will still like put me in the celebration energy where like I'll still be able to manifest more money coming in and that kind of thing. I thought that I needed to spend more money to have more money come in, but that was not the case. You can spend a little bit of money. You don't have to spend all your money, right? But I was spending all my money, right? So that's something that I learned. So all I have right now is like I've got my laptop and I bought a coffee. It was like $3.92. That includes the tip that I put in, and then I have like some sparkling water. And I plan to also go get some sushi as well because I want to celebrate 3 wins. So I made 2 sales this week. One of them was for my business for creating long-lasting friendships masterclass that I have. The other one was for a Facebook Marketplace product that I was selling. It was actually part of a product that I was selling, but then a friend messaged me who saw my listing and asked if she could buy, the one of the parts separately, and I was like, yeah, sure. Um, and then what else? And then I just got hired for a side gig that I just went to the interview yesterday, and like we clicked. It was amazing, and it's exactly like what I want to do, because I have been looking into doing commission-based not sales, but commission-based work for a while. I've actually been looking at it since maybe like 2020, no, 2000 and oh my god, 2010 or 2011. It was back when I started looking at freelancing video editing jobs, because I used to be a freelance video editor. I might get back into that, but honestly, my January's freaking packed right now that I don't like. I cannot fathom the time and energy that I would need to have right now for that. So I'm actually like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And I feel like that's definitely like the entrepreneur brain that happens. I'm gonna sign on to the Wi-Fi network here for my laptop because I need to write some feedback for my business coach. Actually needed. What do I do? I think I need to connect. Oh, I need to open up a browser. Okay. Oh, cool. I like how the Wi-Fi tells me to open up a browser and that has a link. Before you had to like just open it up by yourself. So I'm gonna connect to the internet. See, this is what my stuff looks like. Okay. So signing me onto MSN. I'm gonna close that window very quickly. All right, so then I'm just gonna open up my document here so I don't get distracted. The back. Okay, there you go. What was I saying? I don't remember. I don't have a script for these vlogs, so I don't remember what I'm saying. Um, yeah, I think I was talking about like the freelance video stuff. Yeah, so I was looking at commission-based like jobs back then, but a lot of the commission-based jobs that I was finding and that was in my awareness were sales jobs, and I knew nothing about sales back then. But I definitely know more about sales now than I did back then, so I could definitely do a commission-based job for sales. But the job that I have is actually for like appointment setting. And a little bit of like account management, and it's a little bit of like upselling too. So it was a mix. So it's very exciting, and I feel like with the commission-based stuff, it's kind of nice because you can actually like work less hours than you would with like a regular like 9 to 5, right? Like you're not expected to be there for 40 hours a week. Like you can just do like 2 to 4 hours a day if you wanted to. The only thing is that you have to be like a really good communicator with whoever you're collaborating with slash working with, because they need to know like where you're at, because essentially you are kind of you're the meat you're the meat of the company, right? You're the meat, you're the one who's giving them leads, and helping them out so that they can focus on their genius and stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to like celebrate all of that, and I realized that my celebrations don't have to be big celebrations, and that's what I used to think when I started like just going full-time entrepreneur. It's interesting because when I wasn't full-time entrepreneur, when I was part-time entrepreneur and full-time in my 9 to 5, I had a different brain, and my different brain was like, yo, it's okay to celebrate big because you've got your 9 to 5 as your financial backup, right? But when I took the leap, I didn't have my 9 to 5 as a financial backup, so it took some time for me to process that and transition from that backup to the no backup, right? So it's okay that I learned from that, right? Like I had an identity shift there, and now that I've realized that, okay, if I want to celebrate big each time I have a win in my business or my entrepreneur life, I need to actually have the finances to back that up. So that's why I made the decision to go ahead and apply for this appointment setting job as well, because I was like, you know what, I want to make additional income. And I would like to make additional income that's like impactful and expansive and actually like big enough income that would make a difference, right? And I recently made like a vision board this year as well to just help keep me on track and inspire me every single day, to move forward with my goals. Because truth be told, okay, so 2022 was not like the best year financially in my business at all, but it was like the best year financially to date because I took it on full time, and I was able to have more time dedicated to it. So of course I made more sales. And then that reminds me, I need to actually update all of my income spreadsheets and everything like that. Like that's such an important thing to do as well. Like if you're just starting out with your business and you're starting to make some income, like make sure you track the income that you have, because not only is it good to track that income for tax purposes, and accounting, but it's actually really good for you to keep track of like the wins, the income that's coming in your business, because ultimately you're creating this business so that you can have the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want and work wherever you want, with whoever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, right? I said that already. And it's really good to just keep track of all of that, right? And if you have like an off day, which you will, you can always look back at your income sheets and be like, damn, I did that, and that'll put you back on track, which is really nice. Can you tell that I'm a coach? Just kidding. So like, where was I going with this? Yeah, finances and stuff. Yeah, so like I realized that part of my goals was to make 100K this year, and oh yeah, that's where it was. That's where I was leaving off. So going back a little bit, so back in 2022 and 2021 were like two different years, right? So in 2020, I made goals for 2021, which actually helped me have 2021 as like my best years yet financially, because I was able to check off a lot of different goals that year, including in my 9 to 5, which was awesome. And then I made 5 figures that year with all of my sources of income put together. But then the one big difference that made 2022 like kind of a shit show, like I learned a lot from it, but it was a little bit of a shit show, was that I forgot to make goals for 2022. Hi, whoever came in. I can't see the chat right now. Can I see the chat? Okay, cool. So I can see the chat now. Thank you for the like. I appreciate you. And yeah, so where was I? I get distracted so easily. I don't have ADHD, but I should probably ask my psychologist to double check that. What was I saying? Oh my god. You're talking about income, feedback, and oh my god, I totally forgot what we were talking about. I just blipped. Yeah, I was like mentioning how, yeah, looking at your income will help keep you back on track if you get off track. And then I was like, can you tell that I'm a coach? And now I totally forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, I think we were just mostly talking about like, celebrating things as well. So, oh wait, goal setting. Okay, now I remember. Thank you for your patience. So, yeah, in 2021, at the end of the year, I didn't make any goals for 2022. However, so I have a Trello board with my goals for the next year and for the year like that I have right now. And I had them for 2021, and that makes sense why 2021 was such a good year, because I wrote them down on my Trello board. But the difference for 2022 was I got back into my old habits, and I bought like one of those bougie like journals and like planners that I technically didn't really like. I just bought it because I wanted to at the time, but I didn't really like it. I actually didn't really use it, and it was like $80. It's so nice and so pretty and just looks really nice on my bookshelf, but I didn't use it at all. Well, I used it a little bit, and for me, I never really looked back on that and looked at my goals on there. I'm sure I manifested some of them coming true, but 2022 was just off track because literally I didn't have a track, right? It wasn't until the end of 2022 that I was going back into my Trello board and looking at my goals, and I was like, shit, I didn't even make any goals in my Trello board for 2022. So I quickly made that right away so that I could get back on track, at least for December and November, and that really helped a lot. And then I did make some goals for 2023, so I actually feel more on track this year than I did last year. Like I feel like I'm kind of coming back to the person that I was back in 2021, which is really awesome. And all I can think about is like right now is like how to really organize things in my business and doing systems and stuff like that. So like I'm about to make a user manual for my business right now so that I can refer to it at any time, because before I just had my Trello board out there, but my Trello board is so huge now that there's just so much to keep track of. So I just rather kind of have like a nice Google document that just stays line by line like what I need to do. And before that would have frightened me to have structures and stuff, because I would treat my business like a hobby. But now that I have multiple gigs, I have to actually plan ahead in advance, and I need to like put this all into like sheets and stuff like that so that I have that organizational structure and I can come back to it at any time, because I don't want to get overwhelmed. I want to avoid burnout, right? Because that's also one of the main reasons why, like, I left my 9 to 5 is because I didn't want to go through burnout. Of course, at the time when I left my 9 to 5, I wasn't going through burnout at all. Like, I resolved those issues before, and it's because I had like the systems, the structure, the user manuals for myself in place, the SOPs, that kind of thing. So it is currently 3:37 p.m. right now. I've got some coffee that I want to finish, and then I want to finish writing some feedback for my business coach, my last business coach. I'm not currently working with any business coaches right now. I made a pact at the beginning of the year that I would only hire a business coach once I'm financially and energetically ready, because I don't want to like, hire someone and then I'm not ready and then like I won't implement anything because I know how I work now. Um, so I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna start on my business manual, and it's past 3:30 right now, so I'm actually gonna check in on my Voxer clients right now and start coaching them before my laptop dies here, because I did not bring my big laptop like charger. I was actually trying to look for ways to charge my laptop without having to bring a big adapter with me. And what I learned was if you have a USB-C port like this one on your laptop, you can actually charge it with a USB-C to USB power bank. I have a power bank at home, but I have no idea where it is. So I'm gonna also see if I can look for like a nice power bank um, today or whatever, and then hopefully it'll manifest somehow into my reality. I love when things happen like that, because I'm also like being very conscious of my physical health too, and I recently got the okay, I didn't bring my bag with me, but I have my backpack here. I recently got the Lamancio bag, and it's a really nice like vegan leather bag that I love. But the thing is, it's like really heavy, and if I put my charger in there, it's actually heavier on my back. And I have a very small frame. I'm a very small person. Um, so I can't really have that much weight on my back, and I could definitely probably train myself to carry that much, but it actually hurts. It physically hurts, and I don't want to hurt myself. So I have actually been recently not taking my charger with me lately, and just power houring it through the 2 to 3 hours that I have on my laptop. It just depends. Like if I have a meeting or whatever, then maybe it'll be 2 hours. But if I don't, then maybe 2 to 4 hours kind of thing on my laptop, which is awesome. And just it puts pressure on me to like work faster, but also like work better and more efficiently. And then at the same time, like what else? Um, once my laptop dies, that's it. I'm not working on the laptop. Like I'll work on my phone if my phone's still active, and I have my phone charger too. So technically, I could probably plug my phone charger in the wall and then plug it into my laptop. I think that'll work too. I don't know. Hopefully my laptop doesn't blow up or something. I don't know. But yeah, so anything that I can do to kind of like make my backpack a little bit lighter would be really helpful for me. So let me know if you have any suggestions for that. But otherwise, I'm just gonna probably just get a power bank um, and just carry that with me, charge it, carry that with me, and then use that to charge my laptop. Because technically, I don't really need to be on my laptop all the time to do my work. Like, I want to keep my screen time to a minimum when I do work, because sometimes when I work, there's stuff that I do like that's not like stuff that I don't need to do on my laptop. Like I might be writing in my journal, or I might be reading a book, or I might be testing out, my manifestation techniques, especially with abundance and stuff like that, or meditating or whatever. Like those are the fun parts of my job, which everything is fun. I like it. Of my work. And then yeah, so I just want to keep things light, and I want to like make sure that I'm not hurting myself while I'm working on the job. uh, yeah, and I also don't like have like workers compensation benefits right now, so I gotta make sure that I keep myself okay. And speaking of like health and stuff like that, so I have been thinking a lot about my mental health, and so far it's so good. I haven't actually seen my therapist for about 3 months now. I'm trying to find different ways to take care of my mental health without seeing my therapist slash psychologist, but it does get tough sometimes. So, what I've been doing, and this might help you, and that's why I'm also sharing it, is I have Slack on my phone and I've got Slack on my computer. And what I like to do with Slack is like to just kind of vent to myself and have conversations with myself and hash things out. And then I also have friends as well that I can talk to, but sometimes I'm really careful with who I talk about my mental health with because sometimes I have friends who, although they have good intentions, they unconsciously gaslight. Um, and I had a friend kind of unconsciously gaslight me today, and I don't really know how to bring that up to her, but I do know how to kind of stand firm on my positions and my opinions and my and how I'm feeling and stuff like that. So they like know, and they can course correct kind of thing, and I can course correct, right? Like not everyone's perfect. Um, and so like I just allow myself to do what I can to let my kettle boil out, like it's kind of like the top hat visual where it's like you see the steam coming out of the hat. That's like me. So instead of letting my steam just sit in my hat, I let it just come out. And I like to do that through Slack. Sometimes I'll do a bit of journaling through my Trello board or my actual journal, like my written journal. And then, I have friends that I can talk to. Like, I'm very picky with my friends. And if I have friends who gaslight, I immediately, you know, call them out gently on it, or like kind of help them see like what I'm trying to say, or just express myself a little bit more better. But ultimately, I like to just kind of pick and choose who I talk to about these things, because there's some people who validate and some people who just suck at validating, and you know it has nothing to do with me. It's just the way that they were taught on how to, console a friend. So that's why I prefer to like just see my psychologist, and then just talk to myself on Slack. Um, or if I've hired like a coach or something at the time and I'm working with a coach, then I'll tell them because usually the coaches that I hire, typically they validate, right? And it's nice. So yeah, so I am, and that's also part of why, like I took on this appointment setting role, um, is so that I can also have the finances to really take care of my health, right? Because my health is my number one priority. So mental health, that also involves like getting out here and changing my environment because mental health is important. When your mental health is in check, your physical health will be in check too because your physical health is actually affected by your mind, right? Because anxiety, it can break out into your body if it's not taken care of, right? So I would argue that while it is important to get your physical health checked, it's also important to get your mental health checked, right? And if you had to choose one, I'd probably do the mental health first, right? Because then the physical health will fuse itself out once the mental health is intact. Um, so that's something that I'm working towards, and I'm sending out the intentions into the universe, and I'm like, I really hope that I can see my psychologist pretty soon here. And I've also been thinking about just sending her an email and just telling her that I really want to see her, but I'm not able to actually move forward with her rates right now. So like, is there anything we can do, right? Like maybe she can do email, I don't know, therapy. I don't know if that's a thing, or I could just vent to her through email, and that would also just help me out as well. That'd be really nice. And I've also been trying like other things that I usually do to emotionally regulate myself. So yeah. So I have been talking for 28 minutes here, which is awesome. It was so nice to catch up with all of you. And my intention for this year is to also be more active on YouTube. I'm going to be posting some manifestation success stories on my other channel, Magnetic Unicorn, at Magnetic Unicorn, youtube.com/ at Magnetic Unicorn. So if you want to go see that, I'll also put the link in the description below. And yeah, I really want to get back on YouTube this year, and content creation is like one of my big priorities this year because I realize that I don't know, it's like my happy place to be creating content, and not just coaching. Like I really like coaching, but I also really like content creation at the same time. So I will see you all next time. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. And if you like these vlogs and you want to hear more about my adventures from going from a 9 to 5 to entrepreneur, and you're thinking about doing the same thing, or you're already doing it and you just want more insight or whatever it is, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and also hit the notifications button so that you get notifications when I release a new video. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Love you all.